A good day, everyone. Now I am going to demonstrate to you on how to run a linear regression in SPSS. So before we proceed, linear regression is used when we want to predict the value of a variable based on the value of another variable. So in linear regression, there are six assumptions. So we will now check today if this data set in your screen, as you can see, met those assumptions. The first that we are going to do is to create a scatter plot. So here I open already the data set. So this is the data view. This is the variable view. So before checking or creating a scatter plot, we will check first these variables. So here in the variable view, these three variables should be on scale because it cannot run if it is in ordinal or in nominal. So that's one of the assumptions. Uh, Next to do is we have to click the graphs. Then let's go to chart builder. Then we will create, we will choose from here the scatter dot. Okay. So we will create a scatter plot to check if there is a linear relationship, which is one of the requirements to run a linear regression. So here in the in x-axis, you have to drag the time as your independent variable, and then your dependent variable is on the y-axis. So here our dependent variable is the cholesterol concentration. So here in the x and y axis point, in y axis point we have to uncheck minimum automatic. Then we have to make sure that the scale type is in linear. Then we have to click on OK. So here is the graph of our data set. So this is the output. As you can see, you can create a line here. So it means if you can create a line, a straight line is it means there is a linear relationship. And here is there is an outlier, so you may want to check your data. So since there is a linear relationship, we will go to the next step, which is click the analyze. Then we'll go to regression. Then we have to choose linear. So I will transfer time in minutes as the independent variable, and then the cholesterol concentration as the dependent variable. Then we will click on statistics. Let's go to the confidence intervals. Let's check this. Then we have to set the level to 95%. Then we will check the Durbin-Watson, the case-wise diagnostics. And then we will set the outliers outside into 3. Next, we will click continue. Then we will click plots. So I'll transfer the ZRESD, the Z-RESID, I will transfer this because I am going to create a normal probability plot. So let's transfer this in Y. And then the zip red in X. We will check the histogram, then the normal probability plot, and then we have to click continue, and then click OK. So now we will check the assumption 2. Here, the Durbin-Watson test. Durbin-Watson test is a test for a particular type of independence, which is the first order autocorrelation, which means that adjacent observations are correlated. So as you can see on the result, the Durbin-Watson is 1.957, which is close to 0. So there was independence of residuals as assessed by the Durbin-Watson result. Because here in Durbin-Watson, statistics can range from 0 to 4. So we are looking here for a value of approximately 2, which indicates that there is no correlation between residuals. Then let's check the assumption 3. If again there is no significant outlier, here we have 1. And next, we will check for the normality. Um, the assumption of normality. Here is the histogram. So the residuals are normally distributed as assessed by this normal probability plot. So next, we will check the model summary here. So R is the multiple correlation coefficient, and there is only one independent variable in a simple linear regression. So this result R as 0.389. It indicates that there is a moderate strength correlation. So however, this value is not normally of interest in a linear regression analysis. So you will not normally report it. So next is this table of ANOVA. So this table informs you whether the regression model results in a statistically significantly better prediction of the dependent variable than if you just use the mean of the dependent variable. So here it should be less than 0.05. So as you can see with our result, it is less than 0.05. So therefore, the average daily spent watching TV statistically significantly predicted the cholesterol concentration. So here in coefficient, um, we can see that the coefficient for time is 0.044. So the remembering that the slope coefficient represents the change in the dependent variable for 1 unit change in the independent variable. So there is a predicted increase in cholesterol concentration for every extra 1 minute of daily time spent watching TV. So I think that's all for the linear regression. Thank you.